MotoGP for round 15 of the World Championship with myself, Steve Day, Matt Burt and Simon Crafer.
Although it's clearly going to be a full wet opening MotoGP free practice here in Texas.
Well, I think our first glimpse of the weekend is going to be down into the Suzuki garage, and for good reason. Matt, this is absolutely class. Kevin Schwantz, of course, the legend. We're hoping to be catching up with him at some point. The 1993 500cc world champion on a Suzuki, and some may remember the number 34. Look at that font on the front of Mir's bike. I love that. What do you reckon? Absolutely awesome, mate. Yeah, big fan of that. Joan Mir and Kevin Schwantz, the 1993 world champion, hooking up together in that Suzuki X-Star garage yesterday. Joan Mir then, what a tribute that is to Kevin Schwantz, running the same retro number, the famous number 34, and he's got the Schwantz tribute helmet as well. Loving that from our reigning world champion. How much longer though will we be saying Joan Mir, MotoGP world champion, current MotoGP world champion? It looks like after a disappointing ride last time out to 6 in Misano, his championship challenge is just fading late on here. But what a lovely tribute that is to a Texan legend, Kevin Schwantz here from the number 36. Yeah, you have to say, Matt, don't you? 6th in Misano for Mir. It looks like after being doctor placed, that could be championship over. He would probably need a massive result here and Fabio Quartararo not to score to have any chance at all.
Yeah, it looks like it has finally slipped away, unfortunately, from the Suzuki man, with Pecco Bagnaia and Fabio Quartararo looking so strong. Podiums are plenty for those two this year, and Mir finding it difficult to recapture winning form as well. Speaking of winning form, well, what about this man, Marc Marquez? We've raced 7 times here at this famous circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. He's won 6 times. Last time out, of course, in 2019, he was a commanding 3.6 seconds clear of Alex Rins when he crashed into turn 12. That broke his golden record in terms of victories here, but there's been 7 qualifying sessions since 2013, and Marc Marquez has qualified on pole in each and every one. So keep an eye on the on the 8 times world champion, of course, twice this year on his beloved anti-clockwise circuits. Looks like we've got some Mexican fans here as well so far this weekend. Of course, Sachsenring and Aragon, anti-clockwise tracks this year. Marc Marquez first and second, so keep an eye on him.
Lots of tribute helmets here this weekend, as you could imagine, coming into the States. So many people excited to be here. Alex Rins has got a tribute on the back of his helmet to Nicky Hayden. We should say a huge congratulations as well to Alex Rins, both he and his partner Alexandra. Welcome to the world, baby Lucas, and you'll see that on the back of his leathers later on as well. So Alex Rins, a father now, coming into this one, and what a circuit to come in to try and celebrate as well, Matt. A brilliant record the Suzuki man has.
Yeah, a fantastic record, probably the second best record here in Austin compared to Marc Marquez, hasn't he? 4 podiums in 6 appearances, a win in MotoGP famously here a couple of years ago, a winner in Moto2 from pole position, and cashing minds back to the first ever Grand Prix race here in Austin, the Moto3 battle in 2013. He won a 5-lap dash.
Here is Fabio Quartararo, the World Championship leader, then 48 points up. Arguably the best second place finish of his career 2 weeks ago in Misano, Matt. He put pressure on Pecco Bagnaia all the way, but unfortunately couldn't quite get there. But he had to limit the damage Pecco was doing to him in the championship, and he did so.
What an incredible ride that was by Fabio Quartararo. Post-race, I think his father Etienne told him, he was on site in Misano, and he said to Fabio, that was a true champion's ride. Well, we'll find out soon enough whether that will be a world champion's ride from Fabio Quartararo, but it certainly had that feeling to it. He got mired a little bit early on, fighting with Jack Miller and also with Jorge Martin, but you've got to give an enormous amount of credit to this young man as well. The in-form Pecco Bagnaia, pole position to victory for his first Premier Class success in Motorland Aragon. He repeated that brilliance last time out in front of his home crowd in Misano as well. 50 points out of 50 for Pecco Bagnaia. Can he do anything to recover that 48-point advantage to Fabio Quartararo? It's a big ask. Steve just mentioned time is running out, just 4 races remaining. And Ducati, not a great record here in Austin, but we've seen a completely different GP21. It's worked in all kinds of different conditions, on all kinds of different tracks this year. So Bagnaia will fancy his chances of winning for the first time here for Ducati on Austin soil.
As you can hear the fans here giving a good cheer to Valentino Rossi, his last race on American soil coming up after, quite frankly, Matt, a wretched weekend at his beloved Misano.
It really was. It was an emotional weekend. We saw the Yellow Army out in force. There's a lot of Rossi fans coming through the gates here in Austin as well. Of course, the last time they'll get to see this man ride on this side of the Atlantic. But yeah, a very humbling experience for Valentino Rossi. It was emotional post-race. We saw him park that Petronas Yamaha SRT bike up at the side. He embraced the reception of the crowd. Not an easy time for Valentino, though, certainly on the track. Not exactly bowing out in the fashion that he wanted right now, the 42-year-old Italian. He hasn't scored points in 12 of his last 18 appearances. The first time, actually, Rossi fans, put your fingers in your ears right now, it's the first time that Valentino has finished 3 races in a row outside of the points. Let's see if he can turn it around and have a bit of a late flurry here in Austin.
Yeah, and he's not got a bad record here either, Valentino Rossi. Of course, 2 years ago, just missing out on victory to Alex Rins, 2 other podiums to add to that collection as well. Here we go then, the green flag